I've seen a lot of comments over the months asking for a face reveal, so if any of you are curious about that, stick around to the end of the video and we'll discuss it. So we're coming in on a year since I started this series, so I figured this would be a good time to continue it. If you aren't familiar with the series, I'll leave a playlist to the other episodes down in the description, as well as a card on screen. How this series works is we talk about 5 insanely stupid or funny things in a particular sport, and keep in mind they're in no particular order, and we pretty much just tear them apart. In the first 2 episodes of the baseball edition of this series, we've covered the Marlins, Nyjer Morgan, the Pete Rose situation, the Mets, Bobby Bonilla, All-Star voting, the Nationals postseason record, umpiring, the designated hitter dilemma, and the 2018 Cy Young Award debate, so if any of those topics interest you, you know where to go. Anyways, like the video before we get started, and let's get right into this. So Let the Kids Play was a huge player movement recently that basically pushed for players to be able to show off their personalities while playing the game. Players were upset that broadcasters, umpires, and others were getting upset that certain players acted certain ways during a game, whether it be wearing a certain kind of undershirt, or getting overly hyped, or sticking their tongue out like Yasiel Puig does every third night. Players should be able to play and show as much emotion as they want, in my opinion, in the game. They should be able to do on the field what they please. While the message is great, it seems like that is not sinking in. Players like Tim Anderson can't get too excited over a moonshot without getting plunked for it. Man babies like Madison Bumgarner are a big reason for that. Brady talked about college baseball being so fun to watch in our last video because of the sheer emotion that the players in college baseball show. This is how Major League Baseball should be, and it just isn't right now. Hopefully Let the Kids Play will actually come into effect sooner rather than later, because right now it's an extremely ineffective message that's being flushed down the toilet. Speaking of things that belong in a toilet, let's move on to our next topic of discussion, the Washington Nationals bullpen. Imagine the worst form of a bullpen, multiply that by 30, and that's what you're getting here. You all know I think that the Mets are a pile of shit in a dumpster that's on fire in the middle of a circus, but when they've played the Nationals this year, and they're losing when their bullpen comes in, I already know the Mets are going to win. They have a bullpen ERA over 6 this year, worse than any other team in the major leagues, including the Baltimore Orioles, who we'll touch on later. They have a near 50% save percentage, meaning they blow half of their save opportunities, which is incredibly atrocious, and they have a guy with a 19 ERA in their bullpen named Trevor Rosenthal, and let's not forget that Rosenthal had an ERA of infinity for the first few weeks of the 2019 season. And I actually feel bad for Nationals fans, which I never thought I'd say. It doesn't happen very frequently, but that gives you an idea on how much the Nationals bullpen sucks. Anybody else smell burning trash? Our next one is Angel Hernandez. Whoops, we did that one, so we'll skip him. Joe Kelly has really transformed into something really ugly this year. He had an incredible performance in the World Series in 2018 for the Boston Red Sox against the Dodgers, and then Los Angeles thought they can steal him in the offseason, so he could do the same thing for them when they make their next postseason run. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, Kelly has an ERA over 7 right now. I saw him pitch in a couple of games when the Mets were in LA, and he got booed pretty much each game, and the average Dodger fan boos far less than the average baseball fan. He's been extremely ineffective out of the bullpen, and it's just a really sad sight to see. I'd say the Dodgers really wasted their money on this guy, but they pretty much wiped their backsides with $100 bills, so I'm sure they'll be fine. The Baltimore Orioles were expected to be one of the worst teams in history this year, and to everyone's surprise, I'm just kidding. They're absolutely terrible. They're the worst team in the league, and it's not going to get better for a while. The highest overall present Orioles player in MLB The Show's Diamond Dynasty mode is a 78 overall Jonathan VR. They have one of the worst offenses, worst starting rotations, and a bullpen only better than one team, the Washington Nationals. Last time I checked, teams can't have much success with that kind of talent. Every team that isn't the Yankees has their tank years, but Baltimore is on another level. They have very little to be excited about, with the exception of a few young guys like Hanser Alberto, Trey Mancini, and John Means in 2019, and it's going to take quite a while before baseball becomes watchable again in Baltimore. Mickey Callaway manages the New York Mets, and he's been pretty damn clueless for 2 years. He's a really nice guy, which is actually a really bad thing because he never gets visibly upset about losing when his team does poorly, which is pretty often. He was actually seen laughing after his starting pitcher gave up a home run.
The Mets are already down 1-0. Watch this. Watch this. Max is pissed. And Mickey Callaway is laughing!
Mickey actually called in to Mike Francesa's show the other day to ask Mike a question about the team, and I've never seen anything like that. His team also batted out of order last year during a Cincinnati Reds game because he's really good at his job, and he makes questionable moves seemingly every game. whether it's unnecessarily pulling a starter when you have a horrible bullpen, or warming up a closer in a weird time, or saying that you're putting a player in the lineup because he's hit the opposing starting pitcher well, even though he's literally never faced him before. It just seems like a circus every day with this guy, but I guess that's what he was hired to manage. So I've seen a lot of comments during my time on Stark Raving Sports asking for a face reveal, and unless you are one of the people who's been with me since my early YouTube days streaming Call of Duty Zombies, you have no clue what I look like. I would only want to do it for like an eventful moment, and I've decided I'm just going to wait till I hit 1,000 followers on Twitter. I'm not really sure if that'll ever happen, which is kind of why it makes me a bit confident that I won't have to do one, but if you guys really want it, you guys can go down in the description and follow me on Twitter. We get a good amount of views on our videos, where even if like 10% of you did that, we'd probably get to that goal, but I mean, it's entirely up to you. If you really want a face reveal, go follow SRS Matt on Twitter. A link will be down below, and we'll see if you can prove me wrong. But until then, I think my face is nice and safe where it is. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want me to continue this series down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because at the time we're making this video, we just passed 20,000 subscribers, which is incredible, so thank you all so much for that. I really love doing this, and without all of you, I wouldn't be able to do it, so I really do appreciate you guys. And we're going to keep the train going, so subscribe if you're new, like the video if you haven't already, go share it with your friends, and enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I will talk to you all later.
I call the shots, I run the bulls, I'm Michael Jordan. Hit it with a little bit of push and a little bit of pull when a goddamn mic recording. I bring the heat, I rep the east, I like the south. I don't even know what to do with the gold that I get. Bitch, I'm Michael Phelps. I'm like LeBron, I get the gold, I'm Sherry Khan, yo carry bronze. I'm Randy Moss, I'm Mary Khan, my game on Royce, I'm Barry Bonds. I got a cancer, it's for the fans, like a Lance on the tour.